how's it going? So I'm gonna watch the video. I just wanted to check whether I understand weight loss well or not. I'm gonna watch Dr. Mike video, fact check popular weight loss tips on the internet. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna watch the video, probably I'm gonna 2x it, and then I'm gonna have my response to the claim, and then we're gonna compare it to his response to the claim. So because he is by profession, he is a physician, so whatever he says is good advice. So I just want to check it relative to how I think about it, right? So let's start.
Lights and turn up some music while you eat. These environmental distractions will take your attention away from the food.
Wait, what? What?
Turn down the lights and turn up some music while you eat.
Turn down the lights. Did I copy and paste this correctly? Turn down the lights and turn up some music while you're eating. This is like, I don't know. This is like a neutral thing. It practically doesn't do anything. I think what they're implying is that once you get distracted enough, you will stop thinking that you still want to eat. But the problem with that is that if you did not eat enough during a food session, your body is going to force you to go back to the plate. So this is just not going to do anything. So I say no on this.
These environmental distractions will take your attention away from the food. Turn your house into
Hold on a second, just switch off the fan.
To a rave while you eat. Get a giant bear chasing you around so that you don't have enough time to put the food in your mouth. What kind of advice is this? For those of you who are looking to be at a healthier weight, the internet has no shortage of weight loss advice. Well, in this video, I'm gonna take some of that advice and put it through a lie detector and find out what's true, what's not, and what's kind of in that middle ground. Let's get started. Drink black coffee. This will...
Okay, so the distraction is a no, I think so. Well, we'll see. So I'll mark it as correct. Okay. Drink black coffee. The caffeine will boost your metabolism. I will say yes. So I will say yes. Now, the only exception I'm going to give it is that it has to be pure black coffee. It cannot be cappuccino. It cannot be one of those, Starbucks coffees where you have pumpkin seeds in it, whipped cream. It has to be pure caffeine. Pure caffeine decreases your hunger pains. It does increase your metabolism. It boosts a little bit of energy. I would still recommend not using black coffee, but it does have some benefits in the short term. So I will give it a yes.
This will boost your metabolism. Well, look, caffeine is a stimulant, so it could potentially boost your metabolism. But why I like this statement is because black coffee means that it doesn't have excess calories from sugar, milk, creamer, all of that. In addition, black coffee will technically...
Yeah, you see, that's exactly what he's saying. Yeah, because in our society, when you say black coffee, they're probably thinking Starbucks, but I'm thinking like pure caffeine from like instant coffee or just one of those capsules, basically. It has to be pure black.
Keep your fast going. So if you're a fan of intermittent fasting, you're still going to be getting a lot of those same benefits with having a little stimulation on board. Hang a mirror in front of your dining table. Studies show watching yourself reduces the amount of food you consume. No!
Hang a mirror. Okay, the problem with these so far he's reading, they have nothing to do with satiety and food consumption, because it doesn't matter, like you can distract yourself all you like. This is very similar to the to turn down the lights thingy, because you have to understand that if your body needs food, it will force you to eat. The only way to overcome this is to maybe use coffee. I mean, coffee is a suppressant, and Ozempic, which is going to suppress your appetite. There is also, you can use one sec. Yeah, so you can buy these guys, but basically they're made out of fiber. So what happens is, and they also bulk up. If you put this, it's like gelatin. You put it into water, the water starts to become very hard and it swells up. So your body is basically responding to, one sec. Yeah, so you see in the Triforce, I put 3 kind of triggers of fullness. So when does your body think that it's full? Stomach stretching. So you see, if you put stuff into your stomach, even water, it will temporarily think that it's full. But the best one, this is why I highlighted this one, is you need to eat food that has high satiety. So when you eat food that has high satiety, your body extracts nutrients and it will tell you, yes, I'm full, even if you're eating small amounts of calories. So for example, I make an example here: tomato and spinach versus white rice. In here you eat 57 calories, but in here you eat 325 calories, but you feel the same level of satiety. So the trick in here is this. What this advice is, they're basically trying to... What was that advice again? Watching yourself reduce amount of food. Why it's not going to work? Because watching yourself in the mirror does not stretch the stomach, and it does not provide any satiety. So yes, for 5 minutes it might work, but long term you will go back to the plate because your body is signaling that, hey, you need to eat more food. So my take on this is no.
Dining table. Studies show watching yourself reduces the amount of food you consume. No! If you want to hang a mirror in front of your dining table because of decor, please, go right ahead. If you're doing it so you hate yourself while you're eating, no, por favor, no más. Use smaller plates and bowls to serve your own.
Use small plates and bowls to serve your own plate. Use smaller plates. Well, I don't know what you said. Like, this is neutral. I will put this as a neutral statement because eat smaller plates. This will trick you into eating less, for sure, right? This will trick you. But the problem is, if you're eating shit food, so let's assume you're eating white bread. Well, let's take sugar, for example. Sugar is the best example. If you eat sugar, you will feel hungry instantly. You have zero satiety because sugar has, like, okay, tomato has 10,000 compounds. Sugar has 1 compound. Sugar only provides energy. Tomato provides satisfaction and nutrients, right? So it doesn't matter how big or small the plate is. If the food that you're putting on the plate is wrong, this will not work. Now, it will perceptually work like a mirror, for example, but it's... I say it's like it doesn't do anything. I say it doesn't do anything.
Serve your own food. This is an optical trick that will give you a full sensation from seeing a clean plate. I like this tip. I think it's a fairly benign tip. Really, one of the biggest problems in the eating habits of my patients who are obese or overweight is that they eat really big portions and they don't even realize it. So by having a smaller plate, you're already helping yourself to figure out a healthy portion size. But also, when you see it and you eat the entire plate, there is a psychological concept to how you absorb those calories. It really does take effect. Participate in...
Well, I would disagree with this statement. Psychological effect. Your body doesn't care about your psychology. It's a mechanism.
In the eating habits of my patients who are obese or overweight is that they eat really big portions and they don't even realize it. So by having a smaller plate, you're already helping yourself to figure out a healthy portion size. But also, when you see it and you eat the entire plate, there is a
psychological concept of how you're absorbing your calories. What? I don't think this is correct, actually. Let me see. Smaller plate size. So when you use smaller plate, the same amount of food, like more. Well, you see, the whole concept in here is that, yeah, exactly like I said, the idea is the calorie reduction. The calorie reduction. I don't know, it's a dodgy point. It's a dodgy point. Because if that plate is full of donuts, it's, well, you will definitely eat less. The idea is to make you eat less food, and plate size for sure is going to impact this. So if you want to just say donuts versus donuts, smaller plate is going to win for sure. Okay, so I will just say that I'm wrong on this, right? Because I'm thinking in terms of what type of food you're putting on the plate. They're thinking stopping person from eating more calories. But in this case, I'd say just use appetite controller then. You will definitely eat less. Because your body is going to be like, oh my god, I can't fit into the stomach anymore. Because stomach capacity, I think, is like 4 liters. I think it is 4 liters, right? I think it's 4. Oh my god. Oh yeah. You can stretch it to 4 liters, 2 to 4 liters. Like, but I mean, that's like max. So you see, if you just stuff water and fiber into it, you will naturally not want to eat more because your body's like, no, I can't eat anymore. Anyway, I'm wrong. The plate size is right. So if you want to utilize something,
It's a psychological concept. How you absorb those calories really does take effect. Participate in intermittent fasting, though it may
participate in intermediate fasting. But what does the word intermediate mean? It's like temporarily, I think, right? Oy. I think it means temporarily. On and off. The problem with fasting, like why I'm not sold on fasting, is because if you trigger body fear response where body starts to think that there is no food available, your next meal you're gonna just slam. You're just gonna slam yourself with food. You have to provide food continuously to your body so you don't trigger the hunger. Oh my god, there is no more food in the environment. We need to get fat. If that gets triggered, you're in deep boo-boo. That's not good. So that's why eating smaller eating foods that are high in satiety and frequently is the best model. Like if you're thinking about meta, that's the meta. Like this is the meta. If you go to any dietitian, they will tell you that this is the meta that I wrote in here. You can watch the video. I forgot the name of the video. What's the video? Whoopsie, I forgot where I stopped. Intermediate fasting. I was trying to understand what intermediate means. Intermediate means on and off. My overall thing about fasting is that you don't want to trigger the, oh my god, there's no food in the environment. So as a result, I'd say it's a bad advice. No, I'd say don't do it. Unless it works for you, right? Because for some people, fasting might work. But in general, I'd say no. Thumbs down for this.
Participate in intermittent fasting, though it may also reduce muscle mass. This is controversial. For some, like myself, intermittent fasting works great. Because you're eating in a very specific window, meaning that you're not eating for 16 hours of the day, and you're only eating in a time-restricted 8-hour feeding pattern, you're gonna eat less calories. That's just the nature of eating in a smaller window. That being said, some people actually get a disordered relationship with their eating habits when they do this type of
Yeah, you see, he exactly says that. For some people, it's going to work, but generally speaking, it won't.
fasting, so it's certainly not for everyone, but it is an option. And we've actually seen some favorable health effects outside of just weight loss. That includes hormonal changes, favorable hormonal changes, increased clarity. Also, there's a genuine benefit in not having to eat for 16 hours of the day. Kind of gives you an advantage for you to be able to focus, exercise, perhaps do a little mindfulness session, which can go a long way to calming you down and perhaps aiding in your weight loss. Replace your normal high.
So he said, bottom line, he said very similar thing. He said for some people, if it works, you should do it. For most people, probably not. So I'll put this as correct on my side. So far I have what? 4 out of 5 correct. 80%. Okay. Replace your normal high calorie protein intake with whey protein powder. I say no. I say no, don't do that. Because whey protein has no satiety. It's literally like, it's not food. Your body doesn't perceive it as food. You're gonna get your protein, but you will get no satisfaction from eating. So your body will be like, hey, 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 I still need to eat though. I know you took the milkshake, but I want to eat, right? And this means you're gonna consume a meal and whey protein. And whey protein is colossal in calories. I think it's like omega calorie dense, right? Whey protein calories per 100 grams. I think it's like 400 or some shit. Yeah. It's colossal. So if you end up eating whey protein and the meal, man, you're gonna explode. You'll be like omega fat, basically. So I vote no. So this is what? Where is this? 242.
Can go a long way to calming you down and perhaps aiding in your weight loss. Replace your normal high calorie.
It's not even here. Anyway, I'll just write it down manually. Replace high calorie protein with whey. Thumbs down for me.
High-calorie protein intake with whey protein powder. This one, I am hesitant to recommend to a lot of folks. I'm not a huge fan of getting my protein needs from supplements. When you eat a protein-rich meal, it usually comes with some fat, perhaps some carbohydrates, depending on the source of the protein. And when you're getting whey protein powder, you're really isolating the protein and getting just that. I feel like you can find nutrient-rich protein sources like tuna, like salmon. And in addition to the protein, you're also gonna get a lot of other...
Well, tuna, I don't know. Well, yeah, tuna is just... Yeah. Because you see, like, think about tuna. Tuna is 20 grams of protein per 100 grams. And it's complete protein, so you don't need whey protein. I'm almost certain that tuna is full protein, right? Is tuna complete protein? Complete protein means that it has every single protein that your body needs. Yes, you see? So, when you eat tuna, you also feel satisfaction from eating something because it has compounds in it. Whey protein is stripped out of everything except for those protein molecules. So you don't get any compounds except for the protein. And as I said in my video, which is the Triforce video, right, is that, for example, why tomatoes work? Because they have 10,000 compounds in one tomato, right? Whereas whey protein just has like, I don't know, maybe what is it, 20, 30 different proteins. So your body feeling of satisfaction is going to be limited because it's going to be missing so much, I call it food, in quotes, because I think about food differently right now, because tomato is a food. Sugar is simply one compound out of many. And if you just eat that, it's like, imagine out of tomato, you just pull out a couple of compounds and just eat that. Your body will be like, oh my God, I'm just missing the entire tomato. I still got those little compounds, but I'm still missing the entire tomato, right? So that effect is going to screw up with your stomach, right? So you're gonna end up eating basically more. So
a lot of other nutrients that aren't found in whey protein, like omega-3 fatty acids. Chew more slowly. Your brain can take time to signal.
So he said no as well. Okay, so I'm correct on that. Chew more slowly. Your brain can take time to signal your stomach that you are full before you overeat. Well, this comes from, there is a system where basically for your body it takes 20 minutes to figure out that you are full, right? So if you chew slowly, if you stretch this time when you're consuming food to 20 minutes, your body will tell you when it's full or not. So, but again, you see, like, you can't just say that if you're eating sugar, it makes no difference how you chew it. What matters is the food that you're eating. But if we were to take donut versus donut argument again, and if we were to say, hey, which one will stop you from eating less, I'd say chewing longer is going to work. So on those bases, I'm gonna say yes. I'll put it as neutral. Because I can't agree with this statement, but for an average Joes, I mean, it will work.
To signal to your stomach that you're full, so being patient with how quickly you eat can allow your brain time to cut off before you overeat. I would change this advice just a little bit. I would say chew thoroughly, because if you slow down your chewing, that might be a little bit awkward. But if you chew thoroughly, you could actually give yourself the time to signal to your body that you're fuller, that you're getting the nourishment that you need, because it's really about eating to the point where you're satiated, not to the point where you feel so full that you hate yourself. Let's be honest, we've all been there, but that's not an ideal place to be if you're trying to maintain a healthy weight. Spoil food you don't.
Yeah, you see, so he agrees. He didn't really agree with this, but he said that, like, the most important thing is the food that you put on your plate, right? That's the most important thing, because if you're eating donuts and sugar, all of this advice is not going to really help. Well, I don't know how to explain it. It's like, basically, if you're eating junk food, a lot of those tips and tricks are cute, but they don't do anything. Again, I will agree that if you have a smaller plate, you will eat less donuts. That is true. I will agree that if you chew donuts longer, you will eat less of them. That is true. But the impact on weight loss of this is so minimum, is so useless in terms of proper, where you replace junk food with proper food, which is like salads, leafy greens, whole grain food, like oatmeals, spinach, tomatoes, right? Lean proteins like turkey breast, chicken breasts. Like, the impact is gonna be colossal. I'm talking like look at with this weight loss. I mean, it is colossal, right? That's 10 kilos, almost 11 kilos in 52 days. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's easy. I'm not hungry at all. I'm full of energy. And it's like, I don't want to eat sugary food because it's the way it makes you feel just sucks. So, fine. Anyway, let's move on to the next one. Spoil food you don't want or need to eat. Man, this internet advice, man. Just get a proper dietitian, man. This is such stupid advice. Spoil food you don't want to eat. If you got leftovers that are calling your name, find a way to ruin food, such as dousing it in milk or pouring tons of salt in it. What? What? This is actual no. This is hard no for me. This is complete waste of food. It does absolutely nothing. You're gonna end up to this going back to the store and buying it anyway. This does absolutely nothing.
Food you don't want or need to eat. If you got leftovers that are calling your name, find a way to ruin the food, such as dousing it in milk or pouring in a ton of salt. What? Not only will this create a very disordered eating pattern where you're destroying food instead of creating a healthy relationship with it, but you're also getting rid of food that someone can eat. People in America are hungry, especially during COVID-19. This is a true problem. And it's even a bigger problem around the world. I don't know where this advice came from, but 2 thumbs down for me. Drink green tea. It's low.
Yeah, you see, he said exactly the same thing. Literally word for word what I said. You're just wasting food and not attaining anything, basically. Drink green tea. It's loaded with powerful antitoxin like catechins. Well, okay. This is exactly the same advice. Drinking green tea as drinking coffee. If it's pure green tea, it does, in fact, for some people, increase their metabolism, and also green tea has caffeine in it. Right? So it will work for some. I'd say yes. But honestly, again, it's case by case basis. For me, green tea does not work. For me, coffee works, green tea does not work. But overall, I'd say yes.
It's loaded with powerful antioxidants called catechins, which are believed to work synergistically with caffeine to enhance fat burning. I am one of the biggest green tea fans out there. It's important to know that it has caffeine in it, so ideally not a great drink to drink at the end of the day. But for lunch, for breakfast, green tea is a great option. Not only does it have catechins, it has polyphenols in it, L-theanine, which sort of balances out the boost that you get from the caffeine stimulant, but also gives you that calming effect on your mind. Now, whether or not green tea will actually boost weight loss, it's not going to be a magical effect that you see here.
Yeah, you see, that's exactly what he's saying. It's the same concept as coffee, basically.
In fact, I've seen a lot of companies try and do something shady like, oh, our supplements have green tea extract, and that's what helps you burn fat. Don't go that far. Interval training, short burst.
Yeah, so that's correct. So I'm 8 out of 9 so far. Okay, what is this? Short bursts of intense exercise followed by longer stretch of mild exercise. Yeah, but what are you trying to do? You're trying to burn. Okay. Short bursts of intense exercise followed by. You like when you are exercising, you want to stress your body. If you stress your body, it will burn more calories. That's true. The problem with this is that it will increase your hunger pains. If you do it incorrectly, it will increase your hunger pains. And overall, exercise is not that useful for weight loss because all you're doing is just increasing your calories burned per day. And if you're eating more than you're burning, you're still gonna gain weight, right? The problem with some exercise is that it increases the hunger, and then you don't want to do that. You are better off just not eating those calories. So the way you do, they're just saying, oh, if you do exercise in a specific way, then you are going to burn more calories, which is true. But it can be offset by the increase in calorie intake because you stimulate hunger. I can't answer this question. I put it as neutral because I just can't answer this question. If you're saying purely for losing weight, I'm leaning towards no. Because the food that you eat is more important than the exercise, right? If you want cardio, health, then yes.
Short bursts of intense exercise followed by longer stretches of mild exercise. This is my favorite hit exercise. That's high intensity interval training. You go all out, 30 seconds or a minute, and then for a minute, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, you do really mild, light intensity activity. 1, it promotes weight loss. 2, it promotes muscle building.
Yeah.
3, it also improves heart rate variability. When you start exercising really quickly and you go full on intensity, your heart rate should go up to compensate. But then when you do light intensity exercise, your heart rate should be able to settle back down. As you do this more and more, your heart's ability to calm down in that period of light intensity will improve. And what we've actually seen in scientific research is improved survival in individuals who are having heart attacks if they had good heart rate variability. It's a true survival benefit. Get used to and accept the feeling.
Okay, so he says yes, do it. So I'd say, so I'm wrong on this one, right? So I am 8 out of 10 so far. Okay, what is the next one? Get used to and accept the feeling of being hungry. You can't lose weight without enduring hunger. That's a hard no. Hard no from me. That's a hard no from me. If he agrees with this statement, I'm gonna switch off the video basically and ban his channel. There is a zero chance, because the idea of losing weight is not to stimulate hunger. And the way to do that is through proper food, which is the high satiety food, which I'm not going to get into vegetables and stuff like that, right? But accepting hunger, if you start triggering hunger and not eating, your body is going to go into the mode where it says, oh my God, there is limited food available in the environment. Holy smokes, I need to start building fat. So you are basically, at that point, you're donezo, basically. It's game over for you.
The feeling of being hungry. You can't lose weight without enduring hunger. So recognizing and normalizing that feeling is important. Not true. You can lose weight without necessarily ever feeling hungry and suffering with it.
Exactly.
Intuitive eating is something that many of my patients have done and done quite well, actually. You only eat to the point where you're no longer hungry, where you feel satiated, but not overly full. That way, you're not overeating calories, you're not having these tremendous portions of unhealthy foods, and you don't have to sit and starve yourself. Lift weights instead of...
So he agrees, yeah. But it's like the... Anyway. Light weights instead of doing cardio. Light weights instead of cardio. Light weights instead of cardio. Well, okay. First of all, light weights are cardio, because if you want to build muscles, you have to do less reps and heavier weight. So you break the muscle fibers, so your protein gets replaced, and then you start building muscles. If you're doing light weights, all you're doing is just cardio with slightly more weight, so your heart rate is going to go up. There's not going to be that much bodybuilding going on in here. Light weights instead of cardio building. But I will say that, well, instead of doing cardio, but again, what type of cardio we're talking about? Are we talking about fat burning cardio? Because if you want to lose body fat, you have to maintain your heart rate at a certain interval, right? if you want to burn glucose, which is sugar in your blood, you have to have very, very high heart rate, right? Let me just quickly check. Fat burning heart rate. It's gonna be like 130 beats per minute or something like this. Yeah, so you see about like 133, depends on your age, 50 to 70 of your maximum heart rate. Right, so if you're working in that one, you're burning fat. Right, but light weights are going to make you hit this quicker probably. I don't know, honestly. I can't comment on this because like it's just not enough information to make a decision on something like this. Should you replace, again, cardio? How many minutes are you talking about? Are you replacing full body workout with weights versus cardio? And if you're trying to burn weight, I'd say it's just not enough to make decision. It's just not enough to make decision. Because fat burning is all about the heart rate, right? It's all about the heart rate. So whether you're doing it on a treadmill or you're doing it with the weights, it really does not make a big difference. Because as long as you're consistently, I'd say cardio is easier to do, because with weights you have to with weights your heart rate is going to jump up and down more. I'm gonna put it as neutral, but I'm leaning towards cardio. Keep the cardio more. But I bet you he's going to say that with weights you can increase your muscle mass, therefore you will burn more calories when you're not working out, which is another benefit. For this reason, you see, I just can't answer something like this. I just can't answer it, right? Because both has pros and cons. Both has pros and cons. With light weights, you will maintain higher body mass, but with cardio, you're probably going to burn more calories. In the fat burning mode, your burn of muscles is a lot less. It's very limited, right? So I can't answer this. I'll basically put it as neutral and forget about it.
Instead of just doing cardio. Not only does this cause you to lose fat, but you also build muscle to replace it. Oversimplified advice, but overall decent concept. I'll explain. When I recommend an exercise routine for my patients, I rarely say just cardio or just weight training. It's usually a combination of the both. Reason being is they have different benefits, and those benefits really paint a complete picture of good or optimal health. For example, going for a run, really good for your heart, helps heart rate variability, especially if you're doing high intensity.
Yeah, you see, he's talking about cardio health, right? Which is cardio good. Now, I'm pretty sure he's gonna start talking about, but weight training, resistance training is good for maintaining muscle mass and overall, because you want to have stronger muscles, help you support your skeleton. It's overall good for your health. So he's gonna touch on that. So, but he's not gonna answer it. He's not gonna answer it, in my opinion, because you can't say yes or no on this.
Intensity interval training. When you're lifting weights, you're not only burning fat and using calories while you're exercising, you're also doing that when you recover later that day, the following day, because it takes
energy. See, he says exactly that, because when you maintain your body mass, body muscle mass, right, you are going to burn more calories when you're not exercising. But the problem with the statement is that in cardio, you probably end up burning more calories. So, in general, I'm not a big fan of mixing diet and exercise, because exercise is done for completely different reasons. It is not done for weight loss, because weight loss only cares about calories in, calories out, and that's it, right? Whereas weight training, exercise, all it does is it increases your calories required per day because you're moving more, and it helps your cardio, it's not designed for losing weight, it's designed for other benefits, and that's it. But the reason why it works is because it increases your consumption. Why certain people are prescribed exercise as opposed to diets? Because we know for a fact that people struggle with discipline. They are not going to put down the chips. They are not going to stop eating the donuts. So, as opposed to stopping them from eating donuts, which is what they should be doing, you just simply add exercise. And if they burn more calories than they're consuming, even donuts will not make you fat, because you're burning all of the donuts during the exercise, right? But again, if you were eating 4 donuts, right, and now you're exercising and now you're eating 8 donuts, you're just gonna gain weight, and that's it. That's the problem, right? That's the problem. That's why I say put down the chips, as opposed to going and doing exercise. Just don't eat those calories. If you want to have good cardio health, if you want to have good muscle mass where your body is supported well, right, so you don't have occasional pains in your joints and stuff like that, that is what exercise is good for, right? Especially once you get older, exercise, especially for your heart, becomes absolutely must, right? But for weight loss, it can be counterproductive.
Takes energy to rebuild that muscle and to rebuild it even stronger or bigger if you're lifting heavy enough and consistently enough. Snack often. This will prevent metabolic.
Okay, so you see, like, he didn't answer it, yes or no. Okay, so what's the next one? Snack often is to prevent metabolic slowdown. Again, those, like, these are such silly, I don't know how to explain this. Snack often, this will prevent metabolic slowdown. There is a theory which is if you eat 6 times per day, you can eat more, which is I don't think it matters. I don't think it matters. Okay, if your BMR is 250 kilocalories, right? Can you eat 260 kilocalories and lose weight, but you eat more frequently? Basically, no, you see, yeah. Like, I don't know, I would say like maybe, I don't know, 10 calorie difference. It might make 10 calorie difference, but again, the impact of this is useless. Yeah, you see, it doesn't it doesn't make a big difference. It's like your junk food is like a gigantic hole in the bucket, right? And you are just like, hey, can I put this like 2mm patch on it? I can't say it doesn't work because that 2mm does something. But let's say that the hole in the, let's say we have a 50-liter bucket, right? And the hole in it is like, okay, so let's say we have a barrel. Like, okay, let's go with this. Hold on a sec. Let me just get images. Okay, so let's say we have a bucket like this, right? And like half of it is like this, gone. Water is pouring, that's, your body's trying to make you healthy. It all falls out because you are eating junk, right? The damage is done to your body. Is just, your body can't get healthy because of junk food, right? It screws up your internal processes way too much. And then you say, hey, if I put this little patch on in here, will that be beneficial? I will say, I can't say no, because it definitely does something, right? But in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't do anything, because your problem is the junk food, and that junk food is half of your bucket is gone. right? Well, quarter of your bucket is gone. And that little patch, in the grand scheme of things, doesn't do anything. Doesn't do anything. And that's it. So again, I can't answer something like this because it's... bottom line, I'll just put it as a, I don't know, neutral. It's a waste of time. It doesn't do anything, right? If you ask me, I'm leaning towards yes because yes, in this scenario, it definitely provides benefit, but your problem, you need to think of priorities, okay? Think of priorities, right? It's like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like, okay, let's say you have a massive debt and you are losing 200 euro per month, okay? And somebody comes up to you and say, hey, I'll give you an investment and it will give you 50 cents per month. Is that good spending time? Is that a good investment? Is that a good time spent? I will say no, it's not, because you need to make sure that your debt is the first. You need to pay off your debt so that you will stop leaking all this money. That €1, that 50 cents that you're gaining from that investment doesn't help you, right? So I'll say no.
Metabolic slowdown, where your metabolism stops if there's nothing there to digest. While snacking, your metabolism is forced to stay engaged. This one has been pretty much debunked by modern science. While for some individuals, as long as they monitor their caloric intake and they're not eating poor quality foods, raising snacking like that could be a potential option, but it is not a mandatory way for success. There's plenty of people that can eat 2 meals a day, 3 meals a day, and do just as good a job as those who eat smaller, frequent meals throughout the day. This is an individual decision based on your goals, your lifestyle, and really what your preferences are. This should not be a painful process. Drinking water 30 minutes before...
Yeah, you see, so he also said almost similar thing. He said like it's just... Because I know people who eat twice per day and they're just like super slim. So there is, you can't break this rule. Bottom line, you cannot break this rule. Calories in, calories out, even frequency of food, it makes no difference.
30 minutes before...
Drinking water 30 minutes before meal will help your body burn calories faster and therefore lose weight. That's false. That is a false statement. The reason why it works is because if we go to Triforce, it's for this rule here. Where is it? You see stomach stretching. If you stretch your stomach more, you will feel less hungry, so you will eat less. But does this increase your calorie burning? The answer is no. So I will put a no on this.
Before a meal will help your body burn calories faster and therefore lose weight. Losing weight isn't as simple as drinking some water, but water is a really important nutrient for your body, and there's several benefits to staying well hydrated. When you drink water, you stretch out your stomach, therefore you're less likely to consume a really large meal. Second, there's a water-induced thermogenesis process that has some evidence and truth behind it, where by drinking 70-degree water, you actually have to heat it up to your normal body temperature, and that burns some calories. Not a huge deal, but definitely worth noting. It helps remove waste of your body, so it decreases bloating and it gets that whole system going. It also keeps you hydrated and performing well during your exercises. When you have a good exercise session, you're more likely to burn more calories. Begin meal prepping.
Yeah, you see, he didn't say
Plan
yes
out
or no.
that whole system, heat it up to your normal body temperature, and that burns some calories.
He basically mumbled about stomach. Well, he didn't say stomach stretching, but he just said benefits of water, basically. That's what he said. I did not know that if you drink, what was it, like cold water, your body, but like, oh my god, like we're talking about 1 calorie probably. We're back to this scenario of the bucket. You know what I'm saying? Like, the problem is the junk food. And all of those little hacks, they don't do anything. They just don't do anything, realistically.
Calories, not a huge deal, but definitely worth noting. It helps remove waste of your body, so it decreases bloating and it gets that...
Yeah, so you see, that's just benefit of water. Being hydrated.
Whole system going. It also keeps you hydrated and performing well during your exercises. When you have a good exercise session, you're more likely to burn more calories. Begin meal prepping. Plan...
Yeah, so like he just didn't even reply, basically, to this. So I say that that's a yes for me. That's correct for me. Begin meal prepping. I bet you he's gonna say yes, but realistically, it doesn't. No, it's a good idea. It's a good idea. I would not have anything against this, right? This is just like. The only problem I see with this is that you might want to decrease your calories. Well, honestly, overall, I'll give it a thumbs up. I'll give it a thumbs up.
When you're too tired to cook something fresh. I love this piece of advice. I've tried to do this in the past, but I realize I'm a terrible cook, so I'm working on it. But the reason why I enjoy this is because A, you get to control what kind of foods you're eating. What kind of
yeah. Because when you order takeaway, God knows how many calories you're eating. When you're preparing food in advance, you know roughly what you're gonna be eating, right? And your body can kind of because like when you're chewing and eating, like your body prepares the compounds in its stomach to digest that specific food. So I'd say your body is going to work a little bit better. But again, it's the same with takeaway, because if you order, you kind of know what you're going to eat. When it arrives, you kind of, when you're chewing it, your body is going to. Overall, this is good advice. Overall, it's a good advice. Thumbs up from me, basically. Thumbs up.
What kind of oils you're cooking with. When you have that layer of control, you're gonna make better decisions. Second, when you're tired and you're coming home and you don't have the energy to make something, you're probably gonna order out. And when you're ordering out, you're gonna say, well, since I'm ordering out, I want to enjoy it. And you're gonna get something that's less than ideal. So yes, planning your meals out ahead of time, you'll save money, eat healthier, and potentially even learn a new skill, which I need to do. While exercise can certainly.
What was it? Potentially learn new skills. Oh, yeah, okay. So that's a yes for him. That's a yes for me. While exercise can certainly aid weight loss, diet accounts for vast majority of the equation behind weight loss. 100% yes. 100% yes. Beyond shadow of doubt. Beyond shadow of doubt.
Certainly aid in weight loss. Diet accounts for the vast majority of the equation behind losing weight. And it's quite possible to lose weight without adjusting your workout routine at all. I always want my patients to exercise. And it's not solely because I know they're going to expend more energy, therefore lose some weight. It is because it is healthy in all aspects of life. It's going to help somewhat with weight loss, your mood, your aches and pains, your confidence level, which will play a role in your anxiety or depressive symptoms. That being said, if you really are interested in lowering your weight to a healthy level, to a weight that's ideal for your height and your lifestyle, diet is the number one thing you should focus on. That being
Exactly. You do exercise not for the diet, you do exercise for other benefits. And he also said mood improvement. I didn't think that. Well, I don't know. I need to get into the exercise gig again. Back in the days, I used to do it, but mood improvement with exercise.
That being said,
probably I would guess yes, because you probably will have more energy because your body will have bigger muscle mass. Your cardio is better, so your body is a lot more efficient. So the calories that you eat will probably be consumed a lot more efficiently, so you will produce more energy per bite. So this will definitely improve your mood and your dopamine in the brain. So yeah. Exercise is yes, but specifically for diet, it's not. You see, so he says diet is number one thing you should focus on.
Said sleep, exercise, your mental health, all of those things need to be taken into account. Calories in and calories out could make sense from a scientific perspective. It's not really great from a practical perspective, at least not for everybody. Click here for an entire playlist of. How can I help you, sir?
Whoops.
I've gone blind in both eyes. Turn down the lights and turn up some music.
Yeah, so he agrees with that. So I got 14 out of 16. So the one I got wrong was the high intensity training. I got wrong because he recommends it. And then smaller plate size. I put it as neutral, but he said yes. But I also said kind of yes. Well, anyway, it's something between like 15 to... I'll take it. 87.5% score. I'll take it, I'd say this one was also a correct one, but anyway, that doesn't matter. Good stuff. Alright, take care. Bye-bye.